This is an illustration here for you to think about concerning some specific information in reference to biotelemetry technology, which is basically remote neural monitoring, remote sensing technology, thought-activated computers, and so on and so forth. In reference to how these transceiver and biotelemetry technologies are influencing the neural processes and brain states and physiological responses of the targeted individual. As you can clearly see here, this is a satellite. The whole apparatus is one from what it appears as it being some type of mainframe computer or a bunch of computers that are connected together to operate as a network. And this is just a diagram that shows you the different particulars concerning it. You can go to Freedom Fighters for America and look under implanted technology, biomedical implant technology feature of their webpage, so you can get an understanding in reference to this factual reality. So I'm going to dive right into my statements because I'm running out of video time. Now, I want to help you understand something, and excuse me for smoking while I'm talking to you, but a nicotine fit is calling. Hang on one second. In organized gang stalking expeditions, targeted individuals are subjected to certain technological resources that are attached to the organized crime syndicate that is perpetrating the crimes towards them. Now, I've discussed in some of my other videos that you can go to by typing in Learning Disabled Woman Discusses Brain Entrainment, Remote Neural Monitoring, in order to be able to get an understanding about how brain entrainment operates and what remote neural monitoring is. You can go to YouTube and type in Timothy W. Bioethics Issues. He talks about neurocognitive weapons and brain entrainment. This particular video is to let you understand that you can go to Google and type in Live Leak, Greg Skamansky, and Julian McKinney. She flat out states in this broadcast, she talks about gang stalking, and she also says that the ones that they're getting to harass a target are the ones who are currently being neurally choreographed. Now, I got sent some information by a person who did research at the PhD level concerning one of the apparatuses that is being used to monitor not only the target, to even monitor the neural, to choreograph the persons they're getting to harass a target neurally while they're harassing the target right next to them, possibly at a computer terminal. I want to show you something right here, and I want you to pay close attention to the diagram and to each statement that I state while I'm showing you the diagram. This is what you call cone technology. You can cone geometry. And what you can do is you can go to Google and extensively research what cone geometry is. It's really nothing but a geographical geometry shape, okay, that is shaped like a cone, like an ice cream cone. This is an ice cream cone right here without the ice cream on it. And what you can do is turn around the actual ice cream cone, and then draw a grid in reference to the geographical shape of the geometric shape of the cone itself. And then incorporate it within a square. The square is the actual computer monitor, or even a TV monitor, or a monitor that you'll see in a bank, a store, a library, and so on and so forth. And why this cone was put in the square by me is because I was directed with the information by a person who did the research at the PhD level, who has a bachelor's in electrical engineering and has extensive extensive education when it comes to the biological systems of the human body and brain. And the information that this individual sent me was along these lines. Taking this picture, this geometric picture of a cone shape, and then inverting it, turning it upside down so it faces the other way, and then moving it over here into a square. Okay? This square right here represents either a computer monitor, a tablet that you might use, like a e-reader or just a regular tablet, even cell phones, TVs, monitors in stores, libraries, banks, post offices, anywhere you go, okay? These monitors, okay? See, remote neural monitoring works on and by magnetic resonance imaging, okay? Imaging. The image, like when you're watching a TV or a computer monitor, you're watching imaging on the monitor based on GUI, which is graphic user interface. But what is coming through the actual tube of the monitor is the perpetrators who have hijacked the electrical systems of the monitor. And as a result, what they're doing is hijacking on the frequency of the monitor, of the actual electronics in the monitor, or what they're doing is stepping down. See, when you're sitting in front of a monitor or walking in a store and there's a monitor there, the heat can even be transferred and modulated down into a frequency. What you got to understand here is the bioelectric frequency of a target's brain, the magnetic field that is around a target as a result of even the body and brain emitting a magnetic field because it's processing bioelectrical chemical. That magnetic field and the magnetic frequency of a target's brain and the resonance frequency of any neural pathway can be identified and marked using remote neural monitoring. It sends out a frequency as a result. That frequency can be identified using remote neural monitoring. Now, when a target is sitting in front of a computer and then the computer next to him, a person who has been solicited to harass a target, as a result of the surveillance, they know where a target's at. If the target goes to a library, whether it be a public library or university library, and they sit down in front of a computer, they're sitting in a computer lab, which means that there's multiple seats next to the computer that the target's sitting in front of. As a result of the surveillance and its tracking, they know where a target's at. Then they solicit a person they get forward to that day to harass a target in specific ways by getting that person they've solicited to harass a target for that day to come into the library where the target's at to sit next to them or across from them, 2 or 3 seats down, to harass a target with organized gang stalking physical gestures or direct conversation methods, which are words or phrases, or even specific ways of coughing, clearing your throat, or even clearing your nose. Why is this being done? Because whenever a person engages in a physical gesture, which is a motor cortex associated behavior, your brain is being instructed to do that. While they're doing that, or while they're engaging in words they've been told to say around a target, or while they're engaging in a physical action like pointing, coughing, which is a physiological action that they've been directed to do, the monitor, okay, either the electronics that's running the computer in the monitor or the heat that's being emitted from the monitor is being modulated down to interface with the brain of the person who's sitting in front of the monitor. This is the head here that is sitting right in front of and facing the monitor. This is the cone geometry right here that is coming from the actual monitor. There are frequencies that are being literally transmitted to the head through a specific coned geometrical shape. Okay, the geometrical shape is just used for the area that's supposed to circumference the actual head. Okay, and these grids are nothing but lines of magnetic energy that is being emitted from the monitor itself or the current that the computer and monitor is running from. They modulate their frequency down to interface with the bioelectric frequency and neuroactivity of the brain. Yes, so those brain areas that are controlling the physical gestures that the perpetrator has been told to engage in towards the target as they're sitting next to the computer, the statements that they're told to say around the target as they're sitting next to the computer, and the physical gestures, the words they're told to say around the target for a target to hear, or any physiological action that they're told to do around the target, like breathing in their nose so the target has to hear the sound. They sensitize targets to words, phrases, physical gestures, or specific types of sounds to make them feel stalked. But it's actually these physical gestures, okay, that are motor cortex associated behaviors that are directed by the brain, or words, language area of the brain, or physiological responses or actions, clearing the nose or clearing the throat or coughing in specific ways, are direct areas of the brain as well. All sent up through psychological direction, motor cortex associated behaviors, and physiological innate initiated responses, like the coughing or the clearing of the throat. While that individual comes into the library and sits down next to the target or across from the target or behind the target and is told to do these things, the monitor they're sitting in front of is monitoring them neurally in reference to words, phrases, physical gestures, or physiological responses, actions like clearing your throat or coughing. so the brain can be monitored in reference to the brain areas that control these functions. And why is this being done? For future neural exploitation and for physiological mapping, brain mapping, in order to neurally control or physiologically control the people they're getting to harass a target at a later date. They have no idea that what they're actually being told to do towards a target is so they can sit in front of the monitor so the monitor can brain map them while they're doing it around a target. Okay, this is cone geometry right here, where the monitor, where they're either using the frequency that is modulated from the heat the monitor is emitting, or the actual current that the monitor is running in order for the monitor to work. They're modulating the frequency down that they're, see what they're doing is they're piggybacking on the frequency either from the heat the monitor is emitting, okay, and making that into a frequency, or they're piggybacking on the frequency that's literally operating the monitor. And then stepping it down to modulate and interface with the bioelectric frequency of the target and the person who's sitting in front of another monitor next to the target. They're brain mapping their brain. Yeah, by modulating the frequencies from these apparatuses using cone geometry. It's the area of the cone where the frequencies are emitting to as a result of the individuals being directed to sit next to the target in front of a computer that's got a monitor. They're hijacking onto that monitor using cone geometry to beam their frequencies from the monitor to the head of the target and to the head of the people that they're getting to be, having them to engage in specific behaviors towards a target while their head is in front of a monitor so they can brain map them. I strongly suggest you go to Google and type in cone geometry and then go to the bottom of Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance and look at the bottom of their homepage, 3 PDF links. It talks about magnetic fields, magnetic flux, resonant frequencies of brains, and then go to Google and extensively research remote neural monitoring and computer monitors, or TVs. I'm in San Diego, California. I'm an electrical engineering student myself. I went to school for electrical engineering for years. I know exactly what I'm talking about. This diagram right here is how remote neural monitoring, you can literally see it right here. These are the satellites that are also used. These are the monitors that are used. Okay, and they're using any electronic device in the community they can to piggyback their frequency off of, so they can step it up, step it down, modulate it to interface with the bioelectric frequency of the brain to hijack it. Yeah, to brain map it by using certain geometrical shapes where they infuse their transmissions to. This is nothing but an area for them to transmit the frequencies they're piggybacking off of to interface with the head. And I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth. Go to Google and type in how they can literally step down and modulate frequency from heat, from a TV, from a monitor, from anything, in order to create a frequency so they can modulate that frequency to interface with the bioelectric frequency of the brain that is sitting in front of the computer monitor or TV. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth. Thank you.